Come on, hurry up. Show's gonna start. Welcome back to Platinum Palm. I'm Joseph.
I'm Michelle. Today, Joseph is going to be making authentic Italian sausage that you too can make at home just like a professional.
I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks to make it fun. We'll get started. That's it?
Yep, that's it, honey.
All right, we're gonna get started with the meats. First, we're gonna combine all the ingredients. We've got some paprika, a little bit of the cayenne, because we're gonna be making a spicy Italian sausage. A little bit of the crushed peppers, black pepper, salt, gotta have salt, give it that flavor boost. And of course, I went ahead and toasted the fennel and ground it up in a mortar and pestle to release some of the flavor. And, wow, that's a bunch in there, huh? And then twist it up. Oh, that's exciting. Before I begin, I want to make sure that you all understand that this was put in the freezer for about an hour prior to us getting started with the video, as well as the meat. We want the meat to be as cold as possible because once it starts to get a little warm, it starts getting greasy, and we don't want greasy. We want it to sustain its structural integrity, if you will. It's easy for me to say. I wash my tongue. I can't do anything with it. Do the first pass, and now we're going to take the dye out and go to a smaller dye to allow us a much finer consistency. And remember, this is cold. We had it in the freezer. And we're going to pass the meat through again and with a much finer dye.
Right.
All right, we went through 2 grinds with the pork. Now, I want to mention that the pork fat to lean ratio should be at about 30% fat, 70% lean. So I used some pork shoulder and pork belly to create that combination. Now, we also have to set a texture on the meat, because if we put it in like this now, it'd be a little too crumbly. And we don't want to turn it into like a Frankfurter consistency where it's emulsified, but we want it to be a little tacky and allow it to go ahead and create that mouthfeel that we're so used to with sausages. So we're going to go ahead and start doing that, putting the meat mixture with the seasoning, our parsley, Italian parsley chopped up fine, and don't worry about it. We'll give the recipe in the description down below. And then I want to take a second to discuss the wines. All right, with regard to the wine, there's a couple of wines that I do recommend that you use. Pinot Noir is nice, but it's a subtle flavor. And if you use the Sauvignon Blanc, I think it provides a nice flavor that supplements the pork really nicely. They call it the other white meat, if you will. However, some do like using red wine, and red wine is great. It's phenomenal. But I would caution you for using certain wines that just are offer too many tannins, if you will. So, in my opinion, the Corderone is probably one of the best to use in all forms of cooking with red wine. Crack this. Uh-oh. Wow. Take a little bit more of the gun to go ahead and get that. I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to put the paddle on and let that mix up. Not for too long, for a few minutes, for a few seconds, if you will. All right, now that we've got it mixed and combined, we did it for about 10 seconds to allow it to get slightly tacky. But again, we don't want to emulsify it like a hot dog. We just want to go ahead and create a tackiness. And I'm going to pull that out and show you guys what we're looking for. It's sticking, kind of like that. So that's the texture you're looking for. Just like that. All right? Perfect texture. I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit, and then we'll be back. Right. We're going to go ahead and prepare the sausage casing. And this is a hog's intestine. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that I've learned over the years to go ahead and get this done right. Now, what we're gonna do is add some water into the casing to allow some of the salt that's in there to be flushed out because we don't want it to oversalt the sausage.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that.
Nicole?
Yeah.
And we're clearing it out really nice. And then I go in and grab the other side and do it in reverse. But you gotta remember, you have to have the casing in the water for at least an hour to allow it to soften up and become pliable. And now the other side. This is typically what we use when we do a substantial amount of sausages, and we do use a substantial amount of sausage in our home. But I wanted to make something a little bit more realistic and cost effective, and I've tried this. It's a handheld sausage stuffer that works amazingly. So we're gonna go ahead and use this to do the stuffing. So let's take it apart. Whoopsie daisy! Yeah, a little jealous. All right, so take the sausage and stuff it in. You want to take the back out because there's air pockets that will develop. In the larger one, we typically just chuck it in there to allow the air to be pushed out or displaced. So let's go ahead and fill this up. And we'll see the back end, how it's filling it out.
This small sausage maker makes me think of the cookie dough press.
Hey, there you go.
Cookie dough press.
That's right. Pretty much the same thing. But this was designed for sausages and jerkies and things of that nature. So what I've done is taken the tube, the sausage tube, from the larger unit and put it on the smaller unit. All right, and there's another little trick I'm going to show you guys on how to go ahead and put the casing on the tubing without having to put oil on. Some people put oil on, it makes it easier for them, but I don't think it's a necessity. So we're going to go ahead and wet this up, and then we're going to take the casing and throw a little bit of water in there to allow it to have. So if you come in on this, Michelle, please.
Sure. I like your tips and tricks, honey, because I think a lot of people are missing the fine things that you do to make things easier.
It's called experienza.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so we went ahead and added a little bit of water, as you saw, inside the sausage casing. Put a little water on the tube and put it on. And you'll see it's a lot easier to come up, put it on. See that? It just comes out so smoothly now. Because everything is being wet as it's being drawn over. And this took some time to figure out over the years.
You went through a lot of casings.
Well, you know, we did a lot at home and at the restaurant, things of that nature, but you know, there's certain things that I learned on my own that my parents didn't show me, or my cousins or uncles. Figured let him learn on his own. All right, so typically we want to leave anywhere about 5 to 6 inches out to allow us to tie up. See, that air pocket is not what we don't want there. So as soon as it comes up, we're gonna go ahead and tie it up. Nice and tight. And then bring it back. Oops. And it's really as simple as that. And we're done.
Easy peasy.
Look how nice that sausage roll. That's, oh God, I can't wait to eat this.
Yep. And you know where all the ingredients came from. You know exactly what's in there.
And that's exactly that's exactly why we're doing this video. Because if you look at some of the ingredients at the market, you'll notice it has BTHA or BTA and corn syrup solids, sugars, all these unnecessary products. And we kept it natural. We kept it clean. I'm excited about this. So I'm going to go ahead and add more of that. I'm going to finish up with what we have, and we'll get right back to you. All right. So now we can go ahead and leave it like this. And some people love to have the whole unit, put it in a frying pan, and let it cook slowly. As a matter of fact, my brother used to love that. He would just sit it down and put it on low heat, and it'd create that nice crust on the bottom. Flip it over, create a nice crust on the other side. And with the amount of fat that was in it, it allowed it to be juicy and succulent and the flavor. So what I like to do is go ahead and create links. And when I do create the links, I'd like to have some sort of guide. So I use this piece of wood and I just tighten it up and just twist. So give you some idea of what the size is. Now, there's different methods to that, and going ahead and utilizing back and forth. So ideally we want to do this and not untie the other one. So in most cases it's one twist one way, then twist the other way. So we're going back the other way now. We've got the 5 to 6 inches left over at the end. Utilize that and tie it off. We're done. All right, so now the last and important part is going ahead and pricking the sausage to allow the air and the steam to escape that's in there. If you don't do that with homemade sausage, what happens is it'll expand and it'll burst and you'll have that rip in the sausage, and we don't want that. And that's it. So now you can prepare it how you want. Saute it, bake it, drop it in the sauce, however you choose. Today we're gonna go ahead and put it in the oven. All right, guys, we pulled it out of the oven. It was cooking for about 20 minutes at 350 degrees. Let's take a look. Come on in. A little slice for my love.
That
Another
looks
piece
so
for me.
good. Oh, thank you.
And my piece.
Oh, wow. When did you taste this? Wow.
Yeah.
Let me get your face while you describe what you just tasted.
It's literally amazing. It really is. But we're used to this. We compare that to sometimes when we go out to restaurants, and sometimes we do buy sausage from the market to be able to test theirs. There is no comparison to homemade. Fresh ingredients. Mm-hmm. You know what you're putting in there, and
right.
I mean, I have to take another bite. Mind. This is sausage and peppers too. Oh. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks again. Bye.